If you think hitting 10,000 in savings means you're safe, that's the illusion. That number feels like armor. It isn't. It's a thin hoodie in a hailstorm. You finally see 5 digits in your account and your shoulders drop for the first time in years. You stop flinching every time your phone buzzes with a bank notification. You feel responsible, stable, ahead of the version of you who used to live paycheck to paycheck. And if that relief hit you hard, good. It means you've been carrying stress longer than you realized. If this kind of money psychology makes you feel seen, subscribe. We talk about the stuff nobody admits out loud. Here's the part nobody says clearly. $10,000 feels like freedom because it's the first time you can absorb a punch without collapsing. Car repair, covered. Dental bill, annoying but survivable. A random $600 vet visit, fine. You don't spiral. You don't reach for a credit card immediately. You don't rehearse worst-case scenarios in the shower. On paper, it looks solid. You earned $70,000. You've got $10,000 saved. You're not drowning. Your friends are impressed. Financial Twitter would call that progress. You feel like you've crossed into adulthood. But that's where the illusion starts tightening. $10,000 doesn't change your life. It changes your tolerance for chaos. That's not the same thing. You think you're ahead. Reality is, you're one stacked month away from watching that buffer evaporate. Rent goes up $200. Insurance jumps 18%. Groceries quietly creep from $140 a week to $180. Gas spikes. Your 3% raise disappears before it hits your checking account. The system recalibrates around you faster than you can celebrate. And here's what makes it worse. When you hit 10,000, your brain upgrades your lifestyle just enough to feel normal. You stop saying no as aggressively. You book the flight. You upgrade the phone. You stop price checking every item in the grocery aisle. Nothing reckless. Just slightly looser. That looseness compounds. You don't feel irresponsible. You feel balanced. You tell yourself you deserve it because you worked hard to get here. And you did. That's what makes this sting. The illusion isn't that 10,000 is meaningless. It's that it's permanent. It feels stable because it took effort to build. But effort doesn't equal insulation. Look at the math. If your monthly baseline expenses are $3,500, that $10K covers less than 3 months. And that's assuming nothing dramatic happens. No job loss, no medical curveball, no family emergency, no major repair, just regular life. Regular life eats buffers quietly. You think 10,000 means you're secure. Reality is it means you can survive short-term discomfort. That's different. And because you can survive, you relax. And because you relax, your vigilance fades. Subscriptions stack. Convenience replaces discipline. You finance the couch instead of waiting. You justify it because you're not broke anymore. The fragility hides behind confidence. The real pressure shows up when something bigger hits. Not a $700 repair, a $4,800 one, not a small dip in hours, a layoff, not one expense, 3 in the same month. That's when you watch $10K drop to $6,200 in 6 weeks. That's when the illusion cracks. You don't panic publicly, you panic quietly. You refresh your banking app more often, you mentally replay purchases, you tighten up again, you feel stupid for thinking you were ahead. This is where people get stuck emotionally. They hit 5 figures. They expect psychological freedom. Instead, they feel a different kind of pressure. Now there's something to lose. Before, you were scrambling upward. Now you're defending ground. Defending feels heavier. And here's the structural issue nobody packages nicely. The cost of stability has risen faster than the psychological milestones we're chasing. $10,000 used to represent 6 months of breathing room for many households. Now, in most mid-sized cities, it barely covers 3. In high-cost areas, it covers 2. The milestone stayed the same. The environment shifted. You think you're failing. Reality is the baseline moved. This is why it feels harder now. You did the responsible thing. You saved. You sacrificed weekends. You skipped trips. You said no when it was uncomfortable. You finally built a cushion. And the reward feels underwhelming. That underwhelm creates resentment. You look at influencers talking about 100,000 portfolios like it's casual. You look at friends buying homes with help you didn't have. You look at headlines about inflation cooling while your grocery bill argues otherwise. It compresses your perception of progress. $10,000 is not fake progress. It's incomplete protection. It's the first layer, not the fortress. And here's the uncomfortable truth that takes people a while to accept. Security is not a number, it's a ratio. It's your savings relative to your burn rate. It's your flexibility relative to your obligations. It's your margin relative to your lifestyle. If you earn $75,000 but spend $72,000, $10,000 won't save you for long. If you earn $60,000 and live on $42,000, $10,000 stretches further. Same milestone, different stability. The illusion happens when we chase round numbers instead of structural strength. You don't need to feel ashamed for celebrating $10,000. Celebrate it. That discipline matters. But don't mistake emotional relief for financial insulation. The shift that actually changes your life isn't the first $10,000. It's when your savings start covering real time, 6 months, 9 months, a year. That's when job loss becomes inconvenience instead of threat. That's when you negotiate differently. That's when you stop tolerating bad situations because you have runway. Runway is power, not the screenshot balance. And here's the grounded reframe. $10,000 is phase 1. It proves you can delay gratification. It proves you can build. It proves you can control your spending enough to create space. That skill matters more than the number. But if you stop there mentally, you'll live in constant low-grade tension. Enough to feel responsible, not enough to feel free. Use 10K as proof of capability, not proof of arrival. Look at your monthly burn. Get honest about it. Not optimized fantasy spending. Real spending. Groceries at $180. Insurance that keeps creeping. The $14 subscription you forgot. The annual car registration that feels like a jump scare every year. Calculate how many months your savings actually buys you. That clarity will feel uncomfortable for a minute. Good. Discomfort is information. When you see that your $10,000 buys 2.8 months instead of the 6 you imagined, you stop treating it like a finish line. You start treating it like scaffolding. And scaffolding is meant to be built on. The system will keep moving. Costs will keep creeping. Raises will lag. That's not pessimism. That's pattern recognition. Your leverage comes from widening the gap between what you need and what you have, not from celebrating a milestone and freezing there. $10,000 isn't the illusion. The illusion is thinking it solved the problem. It solved the panic. It did not solve the structure. And once you see that clearly, you stop chasing feelings and start building margin. That's when the ground actually feels solid.